Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Star Trek Baja, a lower decks style Star Trek Adventures campaign using the rules by Motivius Entertainment. My name is ELH the Game Master, and joining me are a lovely trio of individuals who will meet right now because I don't have any announcements. So, Matthew, if you can introduce yourself, your character, and anything you want to shout out.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew. I play Ensign Shastrasane, who is an Andorian helm officer who does everything he possibly can to escape from work. I have nothing to plug, so
All right. Techno,
next
what
up.
do you got going on?
Hi there, Techno here. I'm playing Macbeth, the Klingon science officer slash nurse of the Baja, and you can come find me at TechnoNerd on Twitter or on Tumblr.
Okay. And then, Bean, what do you got going on?
Hey, yo, I am Bean. I am a goblin. Pleasure to meet all of you. I'm playing Marco S. Berlin, who is the techie trill person thing. Yes, object. You can find me on Bean underscore goblin VT when I process my brain and be able to speak.
It's always the hardest is getting your brain to actually do the words. Sometimes it's just All right, well, let's get that intro video going and then we'll get started. And welcome back. So, as is tradition for Star Trek Adventures, we're going to have one of the players do the opening log, and I believe, Bolin, you have the honor of that today, so feel free to take it away.
All right. Person log, entry Alpha 102, Gamma 23. It seems like Starfleet Command has set this whole training program for the prevention of accidental or otherwise incursions from parallel universes. Like that time in those old scientist era where Captain Kirk jumped into an alternate place and everybody had evil hair, or something along those lines. I don't know. Maybe I should get a fake mustache. Drill said there's like an agent, so maybe we should just have a disguise kit or two. Anywho, we're going to use transporter room 4. Newly fitted multi-life sports system that allows you to use both gaseous and aqua biozones, maybe even some exotic ones. Haven't had a look at it myself. I hear Gamma Ship maybe looks into after that room, and hopefully the Ensign Scroll curse hasn't happened, like it does every single time they repair everything. But hey, what can you do? But it should be more fun. Maybe I need a breathing mask or a swimsuit. Oh, hang on a sec. I'm being called. N-log.
Very nice. So, we resume our little adventure in Transporter Room 4, where, as described, it is very unique in that it is able to accommodate not just air environments, but it is also able to flood and support any aquatic life as well. Now, all of you are thankfully not underwater. You are breathing normal air. And you are just basically going over the installation of a subspace reflection buffer and just checking over the Heisenberg compensators. With you is the chief engineer, Zenlith. Zenlith is a shorter individual, probably about 4'8", 4'9". She has very short white hair, black sclera with red irises, and then she also has a pair of red horns. She is a gremlin for anybody who cares. And in general, she's just kind of leading you through the process of installing all these bits of equipment and checking over what's there. And she starts the dialogue by saying, "So I know that I keep saying that we need to be aware of the dangers of the Terran universe, but I'm gonna be, upfront with you all. I don't think we really should have to install these buffers, but it comes from the top, so we kind of have to."
I remain confused about this Terran universe. Does everyone there have facial hair?
Well, that's like a common, from what encounters have been recorded, that's a common fashion statement. Like everybody else has facial hair. I don't know why. Maybe it's just to defer people from different universes, but I don't know why we would need to do that.
And
So what-
as Shastra sort of strokes his partially grown goatee, he looks over at Marquez. He said, "Well, I actually looked into this. It's another instance of anthropocentrism. It's a weird thing, but apparently the devil was supposed to have a beard like this. And so humans associate this kind of facial hair with evil."
Wait, so the universe was listening to humans when it was talking about, or the multiverse was talking about facial hair reconstruction?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Or maybe
I'm a
right,
pilot, not a philosopher.
in their reality, the appearance of like uh Satan is like circumnavigated onto their more benevolent gods. So goatees are considered, or maybe Satan's worshipped over there, and that's why they have goatees.
I mean, that would
Maybe
make sense. That would pan out with what we
like
know of the mirror universe, the torture chambers, and
yeah, like it's like just a religious thing and a cultural thing rather than some sort of deep reflection on stereotypes.
So would my mirror universe double have two beards?
A beard for your beard?
Yes,
How do you disguise like that?
I don't know.
I figure he'd probably be shaved. It's just the inverse. Everyone who has a beard here is clean shaven there.
Or
That sounds
maybe
horrible.
it's a double length beard, or maybe plaited beard, or maybe chest hair, like all of the beard has gone down to the chest.
What warrior would be without a beard?
The evil version of you?
So I would be an evil nurse.
Probably from what Thane has described, a torture chamber operator, if that's even a thing,
With two beards, or
with two
possibly
beards, or possibly none, or a chest beard.
none.
I
A
mean,
chest beard sounds honorable.
we had that previous Klingon, Worf, who was in Starfleet, and wasn't he like the leader of the entire Klingon Empire in the mirror universe? So rather than being a nurse, you could be, I don't know, some kind of god king.
God King Macbeth. It has a pleasant ring to it.
Don't get any ideas.
Late.
You've given him ideas. Why have you done this?
I'm having
Because it
many
amuses
ideas.
me.
I would be a benevolent ruler.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would only drink from the skulls of my most hated enemies.
Chief, help, help, help.
That doesn't really sound very nice, because then you're just like relegating your less hated enemies to a place of obscurity. They don't get the honor of having their skulls drunk from by you. That's a really weird sentence.
I mean, you're the one that made it so.
You look, I'm not the one who started talking about drinking from people's skulls. I think the conversation was weird before I got into it.
You're the one that brought up God King, so I think this train of thought derivates from you and you alone. It may have flown like down a different channel, but it definitely came back to your train of logic and thought.
Well, don't blame me for referencing history, right? With Emperor Worf.
I would name myself God Emperor, not God King.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm just going to do some diagnostic checks. Don't mind me.
I don't know about you, but I like not working. So this is going in a great direction for me.
Beep, 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 beep. Definitely pressing buttons for reasons and not just, flicking through menus so the sounds distract my brain.
So, Bolin, since we got a complication from chat, I'm going to say you do press a few buttons, and immediately the door to the transporter room seals, and the blue alert little sirens in the transporter room begin sounding, and water begins to fill the transporter room.
I didn't do that. If I did do that, I didn't mean to do that. How do I stop the water?
It certainly seems like you did do that.
Fudge.
Look, we've only got like 4 feet before one of us starts drowning. He looks over to the chief engineer. So
Yes.
could you hurry that up, please?
Zenlith actually climbs up on the one of the consoles to get a little room and go, "Come on, ensigns! This is part of the training. Maybe the mirror universe attack is going to come in the form of flooding the ship. You never know."
Okay. Elish, did I actually have time to bring a breathing mask?
For sake of argument, I think it's funny. So yes.
I bring out a breathing mask. Put on.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm okay. Maybe there's some like breathing masks for the rest of you in like the compartments over there, or maybe a whole spacesuit.
This is a transporter room. Let us just beam out the water.
The water's just going to keep filling. That's how the room operates.
And we keep beaming the water.
It creates a cycle like the water cycle itself, which is beam transport the water back into the stores,
How
and then
about
more water fills the room.
I just use the emergency stop on the water flow?
I mean, we're killing a lot of time here on my shifts with this problem that you've manufactured, so we can spend another hour solving it.
I am not helping to clean this up.
That's my job. I sigh. Okay, so I'm going to try and stop the water flow, which was totally not my fault.
All right, go ahead and give me a control engineering difficulty of 1. And if you roll a complication on this, I'm going to have the fit of the giggles.
Please do.
All right, so does this count as routine maintenance?
Technically, yes.
So the difficulty, if I can, there we go. The difficulty is reduced down to a 1.
Okay, so it already was a 1, but go ahead.
I can only minimum of a damn. I do know my ship though, so
Does give you an additional die.
So hopefully I shouldn't fail. I say shouldn't, but Oh wait, this is the transporter rooms. Do I have transporters and replicators as focus?
You might, yeah.
Excellent.
You do, yeah.
Water prevention via transporters and replicators. Let's go.
Yes!
Yes!
Beautiful.
There it is.
I succeed.
So, for those who are wondering on our audio listeners, Bean has rolled a 2 success with 1 complication. Could not have planned that any better.
How do you roll a crit on both ends of the spectrum like that? That's incredible.
That's amazing.
I'm just a little goblin. Don't worry about it.
So, Bolin, you go to hit the emergency stop, and the water does stop filtering in or pouring in from the sides of the room. The complication, though, is going to be that the water doesn't drain. So you all are probably up to maybe about 2.5 feet, or let's just use the metric system. You're up to a meter of water in this transporter room at the moment.
So is that like half or 2/3 of my body, since I am small?
You've got a meter of water in there, and the reclamation pumps are not running for some reason.
At least I stopped the water. I'm just very cold now.
Actually, I'm finding this really rather pleasant.
You would.
Yeah. Soggy, but pleasant.
My knees are wet. I don't like this sensation. Fix it immediately.
I mean, it must be rather like bathing, which isn't that like against the warrior code or something?
It's something I avoid, yes.
Wait, why do you avoid bathing? I thought Klingons...
You are not Klingon, you would not understand.
Right, okay, but not bathing leads to illness, and illness is a dishonorable way of dying, so wouldn't you do everything in your power to ensure that you don't die dishonorably?
Klingons do not get sick.
Well, I mean, the weak Klingons, who have to be,
And they are not Klingon.
It's fascinating how you rationalize these things.
No. There's historical evidence that I am too baffled to fix the water until you realize that there's been major Klingon plagues throughout history.
I think that Shas is going to go over to the controls and start trying to beam water out of the transporter room.
All right. Well, that's going to be let's break it down. So it starts at difficulty 1. You're in a transporter room, goes to difficulty 0. You're beaming water back into the tanks of the transporter room, so it stays at 0. Your target is technically on a transporter pad, stays at 0. So I think it is literally a control engineering difficulty 0.
But what he's actually doing, while he is doing that, is lowering the temperature controls in the room. So he's sort of concealing that by transporting the water out, and he's trying to lower it down by 5 degrees.
Okay.
So 2d6.
And then if you get a complication, it turns out that you actually raise the temperature. So,
Oh, lovely. Perform task and transporters and replicators focus.
Yep.
You have transporters and replicators?
I do, yes.
All right, well, 1 success gets you another momentum, bringing you up to 2. And you
Yay.
beam the water back into the reclamation tanks. And for everybody else, you will note that the room is a good deal colder.
Why am I so cold? Hey,
It's the water. You're just wet. That's
Hey,
all.
okay. Can you raise the temperature of the room, please? I am very small and easily get cold.
No, he will not do this.
Shas just slowly reaches down and starts squeezing water out of his pants.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to increase the room temperature, ELH.
All right. So, as you all squeeze water out of your pants and dump your boots out and all that nonsense, Zenlith kind of just sighs and goes, all right, well, now that miniature crisis has been averted, I'm actually now behind. I have to go check in at Transporter Room 5 to see how they're doing. Keep up the great work. Get those compensators installed, and I'll come check back in about 2 hours from now. Sound good?
Okay, Chief, boss. Yeah, sure. I'm
Understood.
okay.
And then Zenlith gives you all a nice smile. Then she leaves the transporter room. Not 5 seconds after she leaves the transporter room, something begins beaming onto the pad. Does anybody want to stop the transition, or are you just going to let it happen?
I'm going to ensure that the weapon removal system is on
Okay.
and put the shields up around the transporter bay and just make a quick buzz that are we meant to get something transported to our location? I don't care if the message actually gets out, but that's the three things I want to do.
Okay. What about the rest of you? Anything significant you all are doing?
um, I think I'm just going to cross my arms and look intimidating.
Okay.
Is there a weapons locker in the transporter room?
There's definitely a Type 2 phaser underneath the console where the transporter chief would normally stand, yeah.
Then Shas will withdraw that, but keep it lowered.
Okay. So, a few seconds later, materializing on the pad is a Tribble. But it's not your normal average Tribble that's soft and fluffy. It looks
Macbeth is
like...
out the door at this point.
It's not your average Tribble that is soft and fluffy. It is actually a Borg Tribble or Triborg. And as you look at it and it looks at you, it does actually say something that I've... Here we go.
What?
We are the Triborg. Lower your inhibitions and surrender your food. We will add your biological and technological cuddling to our own. Your culture will adapt to pet us. You will be stimulated. Resistance is futile.
Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot
What the
it.
heck is that
If the
thing?
force field's up, I can't shoot it. Why would you want me to shoot something that's so adorable?
Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it.
You saying that over and over again is not going to actually convince me to do it.
They give me the weapon, I will shoot it.
No,
Does it have actual
I don't think I'm going to do that.
nanoprobes? Like, is the sensors picking up actual Borg, or is it like?
Oh yeah, full Borg nanomachine or nanoprobes and everything. This thing could assimilate you.
Just this is a Borg and a Tribble. A
right.
Borg and a Tribble. You must shoot it.
He's just going to put down the phaser on the console and back away.
Macbeth is definitely picking up that phaser.
Where did it come from exactly? Is this from the mirror universe or something?
I'll run a sensor diagnostic scan thing. I don't know. Bolan's just like looking at this in just sheer disbelief of like, what? Who? Nani?
What do we want to make this? Go ahead and do a reason and science on your part, and the Baja will actually assist you with a sensor science if someone wants to grab the Baja.
Target number?
Difficulty of 2 on this one.
All right. And transporters and replicators, because I'm running that through that. I'm going to buy an additional dice.
Okay.
And roll. Thank you, Baja. Your service is appreciated. I have no idea.
Yeah. You, unfortunately, unless you want to spend your determination to reroll here, I think that the Baja doesn't know. You don't know. It's just, there's a Borg Tribble now.
Ensign Berlin to Chief. We have a Borg Tribble in Transporter Room 4.
They're never going to believe that.
Please
Yeah,
advise.
after a moment, Zenlith gets back to you and goes, I was just there not a few minutes ago. How did you... What do you mean a Borg Tribble? Why would the Borg assimilate Tribbles?
I sent her a picture via WhatsApp or something.
She there's this definite pause, and then she goes, okay, so I got good news and bad news for you, Ensign. Which would you like first?
The bad news, so I can liven up after with the good news.
Well, the bad news is apparently I'm getting now reports across the ship that a number of Tribborg have been beamed onto the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So we now are technically under attack. I guess I probably should call to the bridge and sound intruder alert. The good news,
Good news is we're on cleanup.
Yeah, good news is you all are on cleanup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Macbeth, I believe that you should dispose of it.
Very well, I will initiate the auto-destruct.
No. We're under attack. You don't have the ability to do that. Shoot it!
I have a phaser and I know the way to the warp core.
No. Shoot the Tribble.
I'm going to shoot the Tribble.
Okay, you shoot the force field. Nothing happens.
Oh, God damn it.
I turned down the force field so he can shoot it.
Okay, now you can actually make a roll. Control and security... Oh, what you got?
I want to shoot at the Tribble, and the force field stops it, and Macbeth just turn and look at Berlin, just like, come on. And then she lowers the force field.
I just go, yeah, forget about it.
All right. Well, that's going to be a control security difficulty of 2. And if you fail this,
okay.
the Triborg is going to get an attack on you, which I find funny. In fact, let's make it more funny. Complication round range is now 18 to 20. Let's spend some time.
You know when you say funny, we're not finding that funny.
Do I put that to 3 then, ELH, do I? Is that right? 18 to 20? Yeah.
My question is, how does it even move to attack us? Aren't Tribbles non-ambulatory?
It replicates.
Let's not find out.
Just a throwing mass of Tribbles and it will just swarm over you.
I think I'm just gonna roll the 2. Yeah, because the only things I've got are in melee, so I'm just gonna roll just the 2 and see what comes up.
No, you get your 2. What is your security score?
4.
All right, you're going to be rolling 7 challenge dice by my reckoning then. And I need to know, are you being lethal or are you just stunning it?
Oh, absolutely being lethal. This is a Tribble.
Okay. Then I definitely get a threat for you doing lethal. And that is wow. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Do you want to describe what happens to the Tribble? Because you definitely caused an injury, and it's a lethal injury, so...
Is it a killing? It literally kills it?
Yeah.
Excellent. In that case, yeah. When the force field lowers, Macbeth just sort of beep, beep, boop, boop, beep on the phaser, points it at the Triborg, and literally just vaporizes it.
Your medical scalpel, phaser.
There's a sort of electronic squeal from the Tribble as it just disappears into a puff of like atomized smoke.
All right.
That is how you deal with a Tribble.
All right. So we have...
What exactly is it about Klingons and Tribbles? I know that you're like blood enemies. They're the mortal adversary of the Klingon Empire, but I've never understood why you dislike them so much.
You know when I said that it's a dishonorable way for you to die if you died from a disease? Imagine an entire planet dying of starvation.
Klingons. Tribbles are without honor. The Borg are without honor.
I mean, that's double non-honor, but like the history, as far as I understand it, and from what Bolden's telling me, is that a bunch of Klingons died, and when I mean a bunch, I mean planets worth, died of starvation because the Tribbles ate all the food.
But can't you just eat the Tribbles?
No, you can't eat Tribbles. They're not.
They're incredibly gamey.
Anyway, that doesn't solve our problems. We have a ship-wide problem with Tribbles. I think The upper decks are probably going to deal with this in some big brain scheme thing, which teleports them all the ship or do something along those lines. Let's try and figure out how they got onto the ship to start with and stop them from doing so, because I didn't engage that transporter beam.
How
Well-
certain are we of that?
I look at the transporter logs.
Yeah, it's kind of got your signature on it.
It has my signature on it?
Mm-hmm.
How did I beam over Tribbles? I don't even know where the Tribbles are. Wait. I have a look at the timestamp and have a look at what I was doing at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same?
Go ahead and roll me a insight engineering difficulty of 2.
Insight.
And you would still have
Engineering.
transporters and replicators as a focus here.
All right. So I know my ship.
Mm-hmm.
Test the theory.
Test theory would apply. Yep.
So I got 2 dice. Because this is looking over data logs and stuff, do I have maintenance as a specialist?
I would say, yeah, I'd give it to you.
All right. What's the target number with that adjusted to it?
The default is 2.
So 1 then.
Right,
I only generate an extra momentum, but considering it was 3 dice, not too bad.
Yeah. 2 successes getting you back up to momentum 2. So you notice 2 things. The first is that the reason it has your signature is because when you were randomly pushing buttons to drown out the talk of certain subjects, you may or may not have pushed the wrong button and initiated a test run of the transporter buffer. But since you did get 2 successes, you will know that the location of the transporter, or where the Triborg originated from, that is in direct relation to the subspace reflection buffer that you installed before all of this happened.
So the buffer's test basically just like pulled something from another universe instead of doing what his job was meant to be doing, which was stopping that from happening.
Exactly.
All right. So good news and bad news. Which one do you want? Which way do you want to have it?
Let's always start with the bad news.
All right. So you know that funky device that we put in all of the transporter rooms? It's doing the reverse job. Instead of like stopping things from coming into our universe, it's pulling things into our universe.
So you just created a multidimensional transporter.
Yes. So when I run the test, it caused everything to like pull all these triples in, because apparently I run the buffer test, which shouldn't transport, by the way. It shouldn't do that. So it's not doing what it's meant to do it, because so technically it's not my fault. And that's the good news.
I mean, being technically correct is the best kind of correct. So
You are either a genius engineer or, well, not.
I would just like to say, I wasn't the one who installed the buffer.
I only did what you told me to do.
And I didn't do anything.
That's not true. You got to a high score on Gallagher.
Yeah, that was pretty great, wasn't it?
I mean, you supervised, which, if we go by the normal rules of supervision, that means it's your fault.
No, the chief engineer was here. It's her fault. Everything is always the, upper decks officers' credit or to their credit. So in the same way, everything always has to be their fault.
I mean, it works for me. So what do we do to fix this nonsense? Because I can't sleep with Tribbles trying to assimilate me.
And I cannot sleep with Tribbles on the ship.
Well, it's funny you say that because I'm spending a threat. The Jeffries tube juncture pops open, and there's now 2 Triborg that are now screeching and look like they're about to try and leap at Macbeth.
Okay.
Now there is 2 of them. Help.
I'm just gonna have to try and shoot one of them then, I guess.
Okay, well, you do have charge, so you can make it an area attack if you so wished.
I can, you're right, and I will.
All right, well, it's a control security difficulty 2 once again.
Wonderful. Can I buy an extra dice for this, please?
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, I don't have any focuses in combat. Why am I the one doing this?
Because you are the Klingon, and we expect you to do the warrior stuff because you assume that we have any better combat skills than you.
Well, let's see how that shakes out, shall we?
Two
Hey!
I mean, it's
successes.
shaking out pretty well so far.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, 7
So that
challenge
was,
dice once
7
more.
challenge dice. Here we go.
I mean, I'm not bad at
Oh,
security.
God.
Well, you set your phaser to wide beam and you vaporize the things in the Jeffries tube, and yeah, you kind of look in the Jeffries tube where they came from, and you see that the number of wires have been pulled out of the ODN conduits. A number of chunks of the I think it's titanium has been pulled out. It just looks like the Triborg are not only attempting to eat the vessel, but they are generally causing havoc wherever they are. And it's right about then that the ship finally goes to red alert, and you hear the captain's voice over the loudspeakers say, "Attention all hands, this is the captain. Apparently we have an invasion of Triborg, whatever the hell you want to call them. All stations prepare to repel boarders."
Okay, all right. So, what if we use the device that broke to fix this?
Well, that seems like it's above our pay grade, which is really weird because we don't get paid anything. But
I would still like to live, and these things are breaking the ship. So, do you want to get it done now or wait for it to get done?
look, the upper decks officers will handle it. They handle everything.
I am still going to try and fix it. All right, so I'm going to have a look at this transporter buffer that's been installed. So I'm just going to rip off a part of the wall and just expose these like blippy lights and circuit boards and go, all right, so maybe if I reverse the polarity of the Heisenberg combinator, I can draw out all of the tribbles out back to their own reality.
All right. So this is going to be, and you're probably going to want to have one of the others assist you on this because this is going to be pretty high up. This is going to be another insight engineering.
Yep.
This will be a difficulty of 5. And then,
Okay.
of course, I know you have testing a theory and all that. So
Yep.
base difficulty will be a 5.
Base difficulty will be a 5. Okay, so I'm going to proc a focus, fix it quickly but thoroughly.
Okay.
So that means I'm rolling
Oh, you mean determination is what you mean.
determination. Yeah, sorry, I apologize.
I guess Shaz probably isn't going to do anything to assist, being Shaz.
I mean, you could try to convince him,
I mean,
but he's going to half-ass the job.
I mean, you can decide to look pretty. That's like your redeeming factor, right?
I don't have to decide to do that. I just do that naturally.
Well, then you're assisting anyway, darling. Don't worry about it.
It would
Okay.
be better if you assisted than me. I have no patience for these beep boop machines.
Wow, you really sold me in that big guy. Yeah.
Dong 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 da 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 da.
You can tell we're in trouble because she started to sing to herself.
Well, I find she does that with disturbing frequency.
Does that not rouse the warrior in your heart?
I've been working on the warp coil all the livelong day.
You know, not really.
Think of it this way: if you help her, she'll stop singing.
You're right. The faster we get this finished, the faster she stops singing. That's very persuasive torture technique. Are you sure you're not your mirror universe counterpart? We were talking about that.
I only have one beard. No.
And he's going to try to recalibrate the transporter's Heisenberg compensator to, collect all the various different signatures on the ship that match the frequency of this alternate universe that we've devised.
All right.
And that would be assisted with control engineering.
Yep, yours would be a control engineering on your part.
Testing the theory gives me an extra dice. Know my ship gives me an extra dice. Determination gives me my last final dice. I believe I've ticked all the boxes I should need to. And I have my determination, so 1 die should be an automatic critical.
Yep.
And insight engineering.
Yep.
All right.
All right, so
Nice.
it looks like it rolled 6 dice instead of the
Oh,
5, so we'll just take off one of those 10s. But even taking that away, you still got 7 successes here.
right. I
Um,
thought with the determination I would have had to add it into the dice numbered roll, but that's a
yeah, it
learning
automatically
experience
adds
for
it if you
me.
check the box. So good
Ah,
to know. Good to know. So with 7 successes, you do end up getting because your thing
six one.
reduces the difficulty to what, a 3 or a 4?
It decreases it by 1.
Okay, so it reduces to 4, so you're actually going to get 3 momentum back, so it'll be up to
So 2
4.
momentum because one of those 10s are going to be.
Oh, right. Thank you for being honest.
Yep.
So as apparently we're doing today, I have good news and bad news. Do you want the bad news first?
I'll take the bad news because then I can ride up on the high.
Okay. Bad news. Since you have vaporized 3 Triborg, they have adapted and have modulated their personal force field so you can no longer beam them out.
Okay.
That is not my fault.
And I assume multiple other crew members have been phasering them because, Borg Tribbles. It's not just us. We're the only ones vaporizing them by the looks of it.
That is a fine rationalization. I agree with it. This is not my
Okay.
fault.
I tap him on the side because I can't get to his shoulder right now. What's the good news, ELH?
The good news is that you can see that there's approximately 20, nope, 30, nope, 35.
That's not good news. That's double bad news.
So it is.
All right, so I'm going to feed that information up to the bridge so that the bridge are able to know roughly where in the ship that these Tribble are, so they can enact quarantine protocols, and then just tap my thumbs and go, I can't transport them out anymore. Suggestions?
We detonate the warp core.
That
That's
is
your
like
answer to everything.
plan
Yes.
C. No, that's probably plan B, E.
It's not my
F?
answer to everything.
Wait, wait, wait. Can they breathe water?
Can we breathe water?
I
Do
mean,
Borg
I
need
can
to
currently
breathe?
breathe water. No,
Really?
right, well, that's because I can wear a breathing mask, so.
Oh, well, okay, that's okay. I'm going to be technically correct now.
Okay,
You can't breathe water. You just have a supply of oxygen.
right, okay. But if we get everybody to wear, everybody out the areas with the Triborgar, flood the area and then shock the area, that means it will stun all of the Triborg, and then we can load them into the nearest either transporter bay, airlock, and get them off our ship.
But all of the carpets will be sown.
It's a sacrifice we're going to need to make to get rid of Tribbles.
Weren't you the one who was just complaining about all the work you'd have to do in this transporter room to clean up the water that you accidentally beamed in here? And now you want to be responsible for taking care of the entire ship?
All of the ship which is infected, and I think I just point at the Jeffries tubes with snappy bits coming out of it. I'm going to have to fix that as well. And the longer they are in here, the more I have to fix. Would you like to go fix the Jeffries tubes?
That's mostly cosmetic damage.
Would you like to go fix the cosmetic damage?
No.
Then we're going to prevent them from doing more cosmetic damage, like doing quotation marks. Unless you want to just bow down to our Troubleborg, overlords.
That would not be honorable.
I mean, there are probably worse fates.
Yes, for example, you may be
really,
one of the skulls that I do not drink out of.
you are more defeatist than normal today. Are you okay? Did you wake up from the wrong side of bed today?
I think it's the goatee. It's affecting me. Should
need
we
to shave
stop
it
by
off.
the armory before we enact this plan of yours?
I mean, at this point, we would have. It doesn't matter what phases we would have. We have to remodulate the phases, and it seems that a Type 2 is effective enough to be able to disintegrate, and we just need to remodulate our phases every single time we shoot.
Well,
would
surely
like
we had
to-
some of those chemical propellant weapons that they were using during the war against the Breen.
Would we keep those in store? I'm not a
I mean,
security
you could
officer.
make one with a replicator, but it would definitely cost some threat to make.
I would like to get my surgical batleth.
Okay, so how about this? We arm ourselves with the phases underneath the because there's infinite phases under here for some reason. Here you go. There's a phaser for me and you, Thane. Um, what's the plan? I know we're going somewhere, but like, are we just like putting force fields down and then flooding the area, or like
This is your plan. I will help you enact it, but I am not a planner.
That's fair.
Unless you want to shoot the warp core, in which case I can help with that.
That's not really a plan. That's an action.
I mean,
Yes,
it's a
but
plan.
it's a plan. It's a plan of action.
Will end in our deaths. So let's not go with that one for now, shall we? All right. So we need to do two things. We need to alert people that in this area that we're going to flood it, and then we need to flood it, and then we need to electrocute all the tribbles. So who wants what task?
I will electrocute the tribbles.
Okay, excellent. You will perform the medical electroshock therapy.
Correct.
Look, if I'm the one who's warning people, then
Okay.
I'm the one they're going to blame for this entire plan, like it's my idea. So why don't you, because of your charming disposition, go and warn them?
You could always say, Marquez has a plan, so then it covers your ass.
You could
Yeah, but
also
that would
say,
just look like I'm trying to disburden myself of responsibility.
Which you
Which
do
is
anyway,
really in
which is
character.
really
Yeah, well,
important.
yeah.
So you should go do that.
Yeah, but everyone knows that's what I do, so it won't work.
I give you permission. There you go. Go get it done.
He just hefts up the phaser and then starts walking out.
All right. So, real quick, few points of order. Macbeth, do you go get your medical batleth, as it were?
absolutely, I do. Yes.
All right. I actually need to
face
roll.
these Triborg as a warrior.
I actually need to roll some challenge dice here. You do not want to see me roll effects on this.
Can you not roll
Kind of
effects on
do,
that?
actually.
Okay, great.
Okay, you're good. So you are able to get to your quarters and retrieve your medical batleth without any Tribble ambushing you in the hallways. Thane, you're warning people. If you could give me a nebulous sort of high-level presence and I guess technically command would apply here because you're telling people what the plan is. Difficulty of 2. And okay. If you have anything related to persuasion, leadership.
Starfleet protocol, perhaps?
Yeah, I can give you that.
Okay. Yeah, don't stay in the area that's flooded and get electrocuted. That's standard Starfleet process.
If it's all right, I'll throw in 1 momentum there to roll 3 dice.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Hey, 2 successes. That's what you need. So, surprisingly, people are very much believing when Thane tells them that, oh, we're going to flood the area and electrocute it. We need to not be here anymore. And in fact, it gets to a point where you're just outside of main engineering and you poke your head in and you start to explain. And Zenlith, who has relocated to main engineering during all this, she turns to you and goes, Thane, I actually have to applaud your initiative on this one.
Thank you, sir. I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, if you keep this up, we might have to promote you.
That sounds delightful. I would welcome the additional responsibilities of being a junior lieutenant.
We'll just sort of keep that in my back pocket. But yeah, everybody, you heard him. We're going to flood main engineering. Everybody get your masks on, get in your EV suits. We're going to flood this thing.
All according to my Keikaku.
And of course, now I have to roll 2 challenge dice for Thane to see if Borg Tribble appear there.
Well, he doesn't realize.
All right, we got one effect. So the moment Zenlith begins signaling for everybody to put on their masks and get in EV suits, a Triborg is going to drop onto Thane's head. So Thane, I need you to roll me a daring and security difficulty 1 opposed. And you know what? I'll roll the Borg Tribble first because you never know. All right, your number to beat, I need to see at least 2 successes from you.
All right.
All right, you get 3.
Hey!
So you not only get a momentum, but you are able to counterattack the Borg Tribble if you so wish.
Yeah, and I think that's really just going to consist of him attempting to sort of grab it off his head and chuck it into the warp core.
Okay.
Obviously, that's not going to be into the warp core itself, but just bounce off of it.
If
so
you
that'd
spend
be,
1 momentum, we can say that the dilithium intermix chamber was open for maintenance, and yeah, you could throw it in there.
I
Something-
absolutely will.
Something was being fired at the warp core today. It just wasn't a phaser.
Yeah. Also, I do want to make it very clear that no Tribbles were harmed in the making of this episode, except for the 6,000 that actually were. But yeah, you get rid of the Tribble, and I think Zenlith once again goes, "Excellent thinking, Thane. Excellent thinking."
Oh God, what's happening?
You're becoming competent, which I applaud you for.
You are you responsible for this? Are you screwing with me?
What he doesn't realize is that we're being bribed by his parents to make him look competent, so he'll slowly be promoted to captain.
Oh, and as Thane is having a moment of crisis, now let's go to Bolin. Bolin, are you doing the actual flooding, or are you getting ready to do the electroshock?
Well, I'm not doing the electric shock. Macbeth is, because he was determined that he was doing it. So I am doing the strategic flooding.
Okay. Let me see. What would be strategic flooding of the ship? Let's call it a daring and engineering, and I'm going to make it a difficulty of 4.
Okay.
And
so
you just get a momentum from chat as well.
Yeah,
Nice.
I took that.
Already took it? All right, excellent.
I definitely have I know my ship.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been messing around with the flooding systems, do I have test a theory?
I'd give it to you, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to count this as basic maintenance because this is the opposite of basic maintenance. Can I spend 3 momentum to get an additional dice?
Sure.
Excellent. So my target number is 4?
Yep.
And I don't think I have a focus. I've been surviving off transporters and replicators right now, and I don't think.
No. Nice try though.
I think I'm going to save my jointralness for a role which will require fighting off Tribbles, because I feel like that's about to happen. So, target number 4.
Yep.
Let's roll. Hey!
5 successes. Well done. You get a momentum back. And yeah, Bolin, why don't you describe how you strategically flood things, unless you'd prefer me to do it?
Going over the sensor logs, because even though we can't transport them out, we're having an accurate number log. So using that, I'm flooding the areas that they are about to breach. So the water rushes in and pushes them into a central point. So even people in EVA shoots and breath masks are basically just seeing this, like holding on as they could just see this wave of like these little green brownish dots swim through the halls as they land onto a central point, which is roughly where Macbeth will do the strategic electrocution of them.
Strategic electrocution. There's a word we didn't expect to say today. All right, Macbeth. It's time for a strategic electrocution, apparently.
Yeah, I think while everything else was happening, I'd gone back to my quarters. I'd grabbed my surgical bat left just so I can deal with any Tribbles on the way by hacking at them rather than shooting them. My plan was to grab, like a portable defibrillator and take it to this central point so that I could lay down some shock paddles and just be prepared to just press a big red button.
This is a Klingon in ambush. I am going to be a great warrior. My house will know the victory of me against the 100.
Songs will be sung of this day.
Oh, wait. Before we go any further, I have to roll challenge dice for Bolin. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Can't
No.
forget that. Hold on. Okay, so Bolin, before we do the strategic electrocution, you are flooding the ship, but then a panel pops off the ceiling and down drops a Tribble onto your head.
All right. So I am going to activate my joint to give myself martial arts from my third host, which was a troll agent in quotation marks. And I am going to martial arts the Tribble away.
Okay. Let's see. Number to beat here. Oh, okay then.
I am
Yeah, number
going
to
to
beat. I need
spend
to
a moment.
see 3 successes on this, and it will be
I'm
an
going to
opposed daring security.
going to spend a momentum to roll an extra dice because I don't want to be assimilated by a bull triple. The momentum is not going down for me. Weird.
There it goes.
There we go. All right, cross my fingers.
Only 2.
And I don't have a determination anymore.
Well, you could challenge a value. You could challenge a value and get your determination back, but you would still be maybe re-rolling that 18, and you would still be kind of gambling for another success.
I'm just going to be like, wah! And then it grabs onto my head, and I'm just going to be like flaming arms going, ah!
That is an excellent mental image. Wacky waving, flailing arm, 2-man waving. All right. All right. Well, I wasn't actually expecting to need to roll this, but here's the assimilation tubules.
Oh, gosh,
my lord. Oh my lord. Okay. So
do you want the good news or the bad news?
Yeah. So we might actually have to put the strategic electrocution on hold, because here's what happens. Bolin, as you flail your arms about and try to get the tribble off your head, these 2 little assimilation tubules come out and just stick into your forehead for a moment. You are going to be considered to take 5 stress here, but what matters is that you are considered to be in an assimilation state. Right. It is reversible, but you need medical attention very, very quickly.
When it comes to my turn of acting, do I act against the players as a warp drone?
If we get that far, yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh boy.
And I know Kung Fu right now.
Right. So the thing is, though, we don't know this. So
Yes.
I am absolutely still going to do the tactical electrocution that we were going to do.
Okay. All right. So that's going to be a daring and medicine on your part. There you go. That's a new combination. Daring and a medicine, difficulty of 4 on this one.
Difficulty of 4.
Yep.
Spend what you will.
And because I find it funny, both infectious diseases and xenobiology would apply as focuses here.
All right, I'll take xenobiology as a focus. I'd like to buy 1 dice with momentum.
Okay.
And I think I'd like to buy another one with threat.
Okay, so I'll go up to 4 threat.
Because then I can use bold medicine if I need to.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have any values that would apply? Probably
Let's take a look. Well, you've got honor and duct tape. You are literally using a shock paddle usually used to resuscitate people, so I would consider that duct tape.
All right. Yep, I'm going to use honor and duct tape.
Okay.
Okay, so 4 dice, determination, focus. Here we go.
5 successes. You get a momentum back. Well done. So yeah, you waiting in the wings for the wave of Tribble to come sweeping through the corridors, and right as they begin to coalesce into a big old fluffy wet mess in the middle of this, I'm calling it a T-junction, as they all flood into this T-junction, you press the proverbial red button, and there's an electric shock that goes through the area, and all of the Triborg within the area have been stunned and are currently considered to be injured. So they are no longer a threat for the moment.
Besides for 1, which is on my head.
Yes. And that's about when, Bolin, you can start calling to the others, screaming or flailing or however the hell you want to play it.
Help! Help! No. Resistance is futile. You will be cuddled.
That doesn't sound good. Shas is actually going to try to make his way back to the transporter room, modulating his phaser as he is running.
Okay.
I think Macbeth is going to have to do the same thing. I should really do something with these tribbles. So how long are they going to stay stunned for, do we think? Do I have any insight into that at all?
Would you like to make a roll?
I'm going to have to, aren't I? Yeah, okay, let's find out.
Insight medicine, difficulty of 1.
The complication is that you stay there just continuously zapping the Tribbles because they have to stay down.
Oh, I could put some literal duct tape over the button and just keep shocking them. That's true.
That is an option, yeah.
Let's do the insight medicine. Let's see what happens first. And I can take xenobiology again as the
Yeah,
as the
definitely
focus.
could take that again.
Okay, here we go.
2 successes, you get a momentum right back. You think that you have a scene worth of them being stunned, but as long as we don't go to another major scene, you don't have to worry about shocking them again.
I'm a doer, not a thinker. Okay, I'm going to run off to the transporter room.
Okay. All right. So, moments later, Thane and Macbeth, you arrive in Transporter Room 4, where Bolin still has the Tribble on her head. Bolin, anything you'd like to say in this current moment? You're not assimilated fully yet. You still have some agency, but what happens?
It's in my hair, it's in my hair, it's in my hair. Help, 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 help. Running around in a circle. It's trying to get into my brain. It's hacking my brains.
You want to use that surgical bath?
Indeed.
Seems like the right time.
Marquise, there is good news and there is bad news.
I stop and turn. What's the bad news so I can ride up on the high?
We are going to have to amputate.
I cover my neck.
The good news is I have my bat'leth with me. And I'm going to go in with the bat'leth to try and just slice. Like I want to happen is like a perfect overhead slice that just cuts straight into the Tribble on the head and then stops before hitting Marquis in the head.
That is
that's what I want to happen.
Yeah, that's the happy path. Daring and security for sure. Difficulty of 3. And I'm going to spend some threat to make the complication range 18 to 20 once again.
Can I assist with a, trying to stay still as possible roll?
Yeah, what would that even be? Daring and a con on your part.
All right, cool. The only thing I can block is etiquette.
I don't think etiquette will help here.
No, composure would be a lot better one.
I am going to use another value, which is measure once, cut twice.
Do you have 2 points of determination, though, is the question.
Do I have, sorry?
So you only had the 1 point of determination, or am I misremembering when you used it?
I thought I had all 3. Do I not?
No, you only start with 1 per session.
Oh, right. Yep. In that case, no, I am out. So that's not happening. Okay.
My assist is a 19, which is a complication.
Awesome. I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm going to buy one dice with momentum and another one with threat, so that I can invoke Warrior Spirit if I need to.
Okay.
I don't think, unless you'll allow me to use trauma surgery as a focus or emergency medicine.
I would give you emergency medicine.
Awesome. Okay, so 4 dice, focus. Here it comes. What was it? Daring and security. Yep.
All right. Well, the good news is you do your 4 successes, so that's exciting. So you do the overhand cleave, you bring the bat'leth down and dispose of the Tribble. The problem is you penetrate just a little bit more than you mean to. And if that wasn't already harrowing enough for Bolin, it's now that I have to roll a challenge die. If I roll an effect, you are considered to now be a board drone. But again, it is a reversible process. I do want to make that very clear.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
cool.
you're lucky. No effect has been rolled.
Do you want to roll damage to see if the Macbeth has taken me out with the bat'leth?
With the bat'leth, all right, fair enough.
Or is it just a squirt of blood that comes out my head?
I think we'll just play it squirt of blood that comes out of your head, because he's already got to treat you as is. So
I feel okay. Well, that doesn't. I feel fine. Squirt of blood down my head. That's Tribble blood, right? I start swaying side to side.
Partly,
you,
yes.
you want to beam to sickbay with her, maybe?
There
Do you
are 4 lights. Boom.
do we trust the transporter to do this?
I mean, I'll elaborate it, so sure. Because I'm not using it myself, so of course we trust it. Oh, I said the quiet part out loud. Oh well.
Macbeth is just going to pick up Marquis and I will carry her to sickbay, and sets out through the doors.
So much for warrior daring.
I feel like a princess.
So as Macbeth and Bolin exit Transporter Room 4, you, Thane, since you're still in Transporter Room 4, you are going to get a call. And this is Captain Vic to Transporter Room 4. Transporter Room 4, are you there?
He'll roll his eyes, think about it for a minute, and then tap his comm badge. This is Ensign Jethane.
So I understand that this anomaly, this intruder alert originated from Transporter Room 4. Have you identified the problem which brought these Triborg aboard?
Yes, it was the modification that we're making to the transporter to prevent any accidental transports to the mirror universe. Apparently there was a foundational malfunction.
Why am I not surprised that Starfleet forces are experimental technology and it breaks and does the exact opposite? Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Anyway, do you have a solution to this problem?
Well, not the problem of the transporter, but I believe that the Tribbles have been neutralized, and he's going to check on the console to see how they're faring at this juncture. Are they all still?
They're still in that T juncture where the electroshock therapy was provided.
They've been neutralized temporarily, but they're all still sitting at a T juncture on, and he'll list off the precise location.
Well, can you beam them back where they came from?
Stand by. And based on the fact that they've been stunned, can they be transported back?
Yes, they have been stunned. Their force fields have been disrupted. You can attempt a transporter here.
Oh God, I'm going to be the hero of this, aren't I?
I can't even take any credit. I'm medbay right now.
Oh, this is awful. It's the worst day of my career. I actually have a career now. Oh God.
It's the defining moment.
Oh.
You saved the ship.
What have we done to you?
You just have to be humble and brush off the credit to us, so you have to drag us with you. But, you're going to go up.
So he's going to start attempting to transport them off the ship.
All right, let's break it down. You're in a transporter room, comes down to difficulty 0. The target is not on a transporter pad, difficulty of 1. The target you're beaming to, the destination, is not a transporter pad, difficulty of 2. I'm going to throw in some threat to make it a little bit more interesting. So let's say the difficulty goes up to 3, and the complication range will once again be a 18 to 20 on this one. So overall, a control engineering difficulty of 2, or difficulty of 3, I should say. And then the Baja will assist you with a sensors engineering.
Okay. So I will spend a point of determination using the value, love him or hate him, they're still my family.
Okay.
Because even though he is intensely conflicted in this moment, he feels like he is protecting particularly Marquess, considering her condition.
Okay.
I will spend 2 momentum and give you a threat in order to roll for a third die.
Okay.
And I do not have any talents that would be of any use to me here.
Okay.
So, control engineering it was?
Yep, control engineering. And again, the Baja will assist with a sensors engineering.
And focus of transporters and replicators.
Yep. All right, so there's 2 from Thane without any complications, so I need to see a success from the Baja.
It would be 4 because I spent determination as well.
Oh, did you not check the box? Okay, so yes,
no,
right,
I
it would be
didn't.
at 4.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. Someone grabbing Baja.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that now. So I was as unconscious as my character. What is it the Baja rolling?
Sensors engineering.
Sensors engineering. Perform task. It always has a focus.
Very nice.
So
That's a total of 6 successes. So you actually get 3 momentum back for your troubles. And yeah, Thane, you engage the transporter pad. It glows. The tribbles all beam away. And then after a moment, the captain says, "Well done, Ensign. It appears that you have mitigated the threat."
Just doing my job.
Well, I may have to put you in for accommodation for this.
Thank you, sir. But the credit really has to go to Ensign Marquez, who was injured. Everything that happened here was just arranged and set up entirely by her.
Well, I know you're messing with me because you told me thank you, and we all know my rule about saying thank you to me.
Yes, sir. Of course. I'll be more careful in the future.
Now you're definitely going to get that combination, Ensign. I hope you're happy.
Thrilled.
Meanwhile, as Thane has a crisis of confidence, we go to sickbay, where currently half the sickbay is flooded and the other half is kind of like a pocket of air. I'm assuming you're going to take Bolin to the pocket of air.
Blub blub.
Yes.
Okay. So as you walk in, we actually get to see another character. We get to see Commander Red, who's actually a Calmarine. So the commander is a Calmarine, which means they're basically a floating prismatic entity that is meant to be living in a gaseous environment. Or is it aquatic? I never remember. Either way, they're just sort of floating there like a crystal, and they say, "Oh, it appears that the ensign is injured. Can you explain what happened?"
she was she was injured while valiantly defending the ship against these Tribbles.
A Tribble did this? How interesting.
Well, the Tribble did some of it. There were other issues which arose. I need to work on my surgical skills, it appears.
A surgical backlift should not be
Commander.
part of Starfleet's medical standard equipment.
As you can tell, she is delirious.
Yes, we should operate right away. My sensors are indicating that she apparently has Borg nanoprobes within her bloodstream.
That is correct.
Makes me the urge to cuddle. Help.
If she cuddles me, I will be decapitating her.
Please don't decapitate me.
Well, let's get her to a biobed and we'll begin work immediately.
And yeah, Macbeth moves over to the nearest non-flooded biobed and puts her on it.
Okay.
Activates the little shield that goes over her.
Yep. So this is going to be a daring or a control in medicine. I'll let you decide which. The difficulty on this will be a 4. And you know what? I've still got 2 threat. Let's make the complication range 18 and 20 once more.
Because why wouldn't you?
Because
Yeah, why
why
not?
would you? Well, in that case, I would like to use the momentum we have to buy the 2 dice.
Okay.
And unless anyone objects.
Nah, you go right ahead. I have no objections to you saving my life.
I mean, it's not saving your life, it's just, stopping you from being assimilated.
Look, if anything to go by about Borg tribbles, I'll start producing tribbles out of my body. That's probably going to be part of the simulation process. You probably want to stop it.
I don't see how that's going to be a thing, but sure. Can I also use emergency medicine as the focus, please?
Yep. And I'll even give you an assist from Commander Red on this one.
Boom. Okay. So I'm rolling 4 dice, focus, daring, and medicine. Complication range is 3.
All right. So you are going to get 5 successes on this one. So here's going to be the complication. The complication is that as you are operating and saving Bolin's life, one of the dead Tribbles, so one of the expired Tribbles that just didn't get caught in the transporter, it's going to float by one of the biobeds and it's going to get your attention. And you maybe pull a little too much blood out of Bolin. So Bolin, you're saved. You're just anemic for a little bit.
So I was distracted by the Tribble enough to injure her further. Okay. Awesome.
Also, there's another complication by from chat if you want to use it on the same thing.
You know I'm going to save it. You know what? I'll actually take threat for that one. I'll take the 2 threat for that one.
Okay. I think Macbeth is going to just very gingerly pick up that Tribble and just sort of move it over to like a surgical bin and just let go of it and drop it into it.
And it just kind of makes a noise. It's
I hope
a wet
there's
splat.
like a little or a little flash of light as it just gets incinerated in a little medical furnace or something.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So yeah, it just goes in there and there's just a boom and it's gone.
I hate those things.
Well, this has been a very exciting day. When would you like to begin your testing with the medical batleth?
Please don't test it on me.
Just
I've been thoroughly tested.
Macbeth just puts a hand over Maki's mouth. Just, I will. If I don't do this, she will start singing. I know
it. Daisy, Daisy.
There's a callback. Oh, good lord.
Curses, I was too late. Commander, I have a surgical training program on the holodeck. I would be honored if you would join me.
I would be happy to. Let me assure that there are no other injuries among the crew. Otherwise, I will meet you there within 30 minutes.
I should warn you, I practice at level 15.
All right. So we see a quick montage of Macbeth and Commander Red literally, I guess, surgically batlething through problems, which is actually funny on Red's part because Red doesn't have hands, so the batleth just kind of psionically floats around them and just does the whole cleaving motion and all that.
The technique is perfect.
Yeah. But we skip ahead maybe a few hours after this whole incident has been handled. Thane, Boleyn, Macbeth, you all are in one of the lounges. And if you want to talk to him, your friend from last mission is there as well. But yeah, you have a bit of downtime now that all of this has been resolved.
So, Scatterbulk has told me that somebody's in for accommodation.
And you see Thane just pounds back another Andorian ale.
For their heroic and precise and thorough dealing with a ship-wide emergency. I have the biggest shit-eating grin at this moment.
He turns over to 8, I believe it was, or
A.
A, right. I need to know, what is the captain going to do? Is he going to give me a commendation? Is he going to, and as he's talking, he actually gets closer and closer to A and then grabs him and starts shaking him violently. What is he going to do? Is he going to promote me?
Roll me a 1d20.
I start, because as they're doing that, I just, at the replicator, just start making food and just eating food and more food as it's slowly disappearing.
Oh my god, he couldn't have asked for a better roll. A says, better not tell you now.
This is exactly the kind of thing that gets you a captaincy one day. Like, people remember this when they're admirals and they think about who they want to promote.
Yes, they will sing songs of this day.
I mean, you
When we
defeated
bested the Tribble Borg.
I mean, you ensured that everybody was out of the area in a timely manner. You have an area of authority when you want to use it.
I can see the murals now. Shas Chafane, standing, a Tribble in one hand, a burning warp core in the other.
I thought you were going to go with the skull of my enemy, but okay.
I heard that you.
I will be in the background with a skull of my enemy. Yes.
I heard that the ship's baseball team wants you to join. Apparently, you have a great pitching arm.
Oh, and that's like the extracurricular activity that every single captain has, like baseball or fencing or archaeology. I don't know.
I mean, I know. What was
I have the profile.
S9 Cisco had a. I mean, he had like a league going on with like other captains and stuff, so it must be quite popular with the higher ups.
Why are you enjoying that? You should be upset. This is all on you. This is all your fault.
Okay, me?
Yes.
I
If you hadn't gotten assimilated, then I wouldn't be the one using the transporter. You would have been.
uh-huh. I did you say that it was my plan to deal with them?
Yes.
And what did they say?
They didn't believe me. They
Well,
just credited me with, being generous towards my subordinates and creating a sort of collegiate atmosphere.
So you can make an excellent boss one day. I think there's a German word that really sums up my feelings right now.
Well, go right ahead and share it then.
I don't
Let's
know
be
it.
anthropocentric here once again and turn to a language from Earth. Why don't you rub it in?
I think I'm just going to let you stew because it's more amusing for me. Schadenfreude? That's the word. I remembered it now.
Who has stew?
I do because I'm hungry because I lost a lot of blood. I need to retain more mass. I only have
Macbeth
so much.
reaches across the table and takes your stew.
I'll just replicate more stew then.
They couldn't give you a transfusion?
I have that, but I'm very hungry now.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, did you get hit by a surgical backlift? We don't know the side effects of using that medical instrument.
I mean, blood loss is a fairly common side effect.
The Starfleet Surgeon General has signed off on all surgical backlift's.
Or
not individually, you understand, but as a general concept.
Or one of them.
I believe there are at least two others. Mainly in Klingon hands, but that's not the point.
So that the backlifts are power given to the three Klingons.
Yes, you definitely have blood loss.
So, Macbeth, are you going to talk to your people about what just happened here? I mean, they'd probably want to know about the existence of Tribbles and Borg Tribbles, considering they wiped out the species.
Absolutely not. I would be known as Macbeth, the betrayer, the one who brought the Tribbles back. That is not my destiny.
Would you not be known as the Slayer of the Second Coming?
You are not Klingon. You would not understand.
Well, look, this is actually a really good idea. You should tell them, because then they'll start singing songs and telling stories about you and not me when the word gets out.
It could be my first step on the path to God Emperor.
There you go. Right?
Standing over a mountain of triple corpses. Yes, I can see how this would work.
I thought you wanted to go down the medical path, not the political path.
This is true. However, one could say that politics is much like medicine. You have
How could one say that?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure it applies in some way.
I mean, you can apply anything to anything, really, but doesn't
perhaps
mean
there is a correlation between lying to your patients about their chances of coming through a surgical bat'leth session and discussing, I don't know, the roads on Kronos. I'm sure there's a correlation there somewhere. Quiet, I'm eating my stew.
That's my stew, but all right.
I'm eating Marquis stew.
I mean, this does raise a pretty good question for you. Why are you even in this field, medicine? It's not like something I would expect for a Klingon.
I mean, he's fully able to make his own decisions. There has to be Dr. Klingons there.
The path of a warrior is not for everyone. However, there are many ways in which one can become a warrior.
Well, as you proved today, because I think you killed like 5 Triborgs on your own with your own 2 hands. So you're a great warrior.
At least 6.
Maybe even 7.
The tales will tell that I killed 12.
Yes. And also hunted, by my calculations, 164 Tribbles.
But no one would believe that.
So because I find it funny, I'm going to spend my last 2 threat to create the complication that as you all are eating your stew and having this conversation, Commander Moore, the Tillerite First Officer, comes over to your table and goes, "Well, it's good to see the heroes of the hour. Thane, I have your award right here." And he pulls out a little box, and it's a special commendation medal for you. Well, there was going to be a ceremony, but we don't really have the time for it. So, here you go, son. Hope you enjoy.
Well, somebody had to do something, considering that the bridge officers were just sitting around, useless as usual.
Well, I wouldn't call us useless. We were doing a very in-depth battle aboard the bridge. And he looks at Macbeth. We wish we had a Klingon with us. There was firefights, there were Triborg flying everywhere. It was quite the scene.
Then I am sorry that I missed it. Next time, perhaps, you could call me, and I would be there with my Bat'leth.
Oh, don't worry, though. We got you a little something as well, Macbeth. And he pulls out a fake plushy Tribble that if you squeeze it, it makes the cooing sound. And he puts it down in front of Macbeth.
I just take a step back or like slide in my seat, depending where I am in the scene, so I'm out of swinging distance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Macbeth is going to just pull out his surgical Bat'leth and just smash down on the table with it.
And I think that, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, that's the scene we're going to end on for today. Also, I'm going to have to put a disclaimer on this for violence against Tribbles, but that's a me problem. Oh, good lord. So what do you guys think? I thought that went really well.
I'm just here for Thane's eventual promotion so we can play a Upper Decks game.
Well, aren't we
with
all?
Thane as the captain.
Yeah, I can't wait for his eventual promotion to the Titan, because it will, of course, turn up at the end of the season.
Yeah.
As is tradition.
I have to think that I've only further ingratiated myself with First Officer, considering I insulted a Tellarite. So,
yeah, you're in there. You have literally made friends with three executive officers in like one day.
I mean, on the downside, the entire ship now smells like wet Tribble, but...
Yeah, but that's not even
your fault. Not my fault. Yeah.
Precisely. The only
Great
thing
stuff.
And that smell is not coming out.
It's not. It's really not. Oh, Lord. All right. Well, Twitch, stick around because we're going to rate some of it, but YouTube, we'll see you later. Bye, YouTube.